recasted segment. This recasted segment, we take anything in this movie or prevalent in this movie, and we recast it with something we think is going to be just as good, if not better. Does anybody want to start off? I think Vic said you did not have any recasted. Is that
actually? I do now.
All right, go ahead.
I do now. So I want to recast this entire story for this one. Because truth be told, like, since they were culminating this and ending this and all of that, I really feel like they probably could have done an actual Dark Phoenix saga. Okay. Dark Phoenix saga was literally 5 episodes, and they definitely could have done this within 2 movies. I think it would have been much, much better if they would have done this. I think that this situation, above all else, was phoned in because of all of the circumstances. And you know, I like I alluded to before, I was excited about seeing Sons of Stark.
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing you. I don't know if it's just me.
Yeah, I don't know where that noise is coming from. I was like, we're outside.
Yeah.
But like I was saying, like I was very excited to see Sons of Stark play this role. And I think that she did it okay. I personally don't like the delivery of the movie itself. Because it was basically phoned in. You know, I'll continue this in my final thing, but that's pretty much it. Because like I walked into this movie with this mindset, like, yeah. And then I walked out of this movie like, you know what I mean?
I wish I had that in when we did Tactical Force. I wish we had that. Andrew, in my opinion, Andrew says, does the character of Magneto come off more as a villain or as a dramatic and misunderstood
dramatic and misunderstood.
I would say so. I would agree with Vic. I think
definitely not as a villain, not in this movie.
Yeah, I think every good villain. No, I know that's oxymoronic, but every good villain has to have a true motivation that can be understood by the audience in order for him to be effective. If he's just a mustache twirler, then we can't relate to them. You know what I mean? And they're a one-off. But if they have a realistic motivation, I think people can understand even if they disagree with it.
You know what though? But I don't think that Magneto. I don't see Magneto as a villain since X-Men 3.
Which X-Men 3 you talking about in the original
where he got hit with the needles, where Beast hit him with the needles, where Kelsey Grant, where they were all old. Okay. Where it was like the 2000s, where he was moving the Golden Gate Bridge. Mm-hmm. That's the last time I see Magneto as
an outright villain.
Yeah, an outright villain. Because like in all the other movies, it's just he has villain moments. You know what I mean? But I don't see him as the main antagonist in the movies at all, in any of them. As far as I mean talking from X-Men First Class to this movie. You know what I mean? Even in Days of Future Past, he's not a villain anymore. He's not a bad guy anymore. When he's old Magneto or young Magneto, you know what I'm saying? Because in that movie, he's just pissed. He's not. I don't see him as a villain. I just see him being upset.
In Days of Future Past,
honestly, like if they would have actually showed him killing Kennedy instead of like them putting it on him and he actually killed Kennedy and they made that a thing, then
well, he didn't kill him per se. He was trying to save him.
Yeah, exactly, because he said he was one of us, which would have been awesome. You know what I mean? But like, if they would have twisted that around and tried to made him like the actual killer of Kennedy, so you know, so he would actually have to go out in hiding for actually doing that. And you know, still, but then at the same time, like that's a very gray area to go because John F. Kennedy is one of the most beloved presidents of all time. You know, so kind of if putting him in a negative light probably wouldn't have been that good. Like if they would have done that with Ronald Reagan, even though like to some people Ronald Reagan is like the greatest guy ever, but still like, you know, or if they would have done that with like George Bush, you know, it probably would have gone over a little bit better. But John F. Kennedy, they had to. But at the same time, it is the 60s, so that makes sense. You know what I mean? But still, like, I'm just, you know, just to get off the tirade before I make this even more long-winded, I just feel that Magneto, for the most part, was still one of them, for lack of a better phrase, instead of actually being the bad guy in any of these movies.
I would say, sorry, I just read a comment. I would say that in very much so in the Bryan Singer sphere of the original trilogy, you know what I'm saying, right? That he's very much the antagonist and also the villain, you know, mustache twirling villain, right? To a more or less extent, right? He's an antagonist in the second one to a small extent, but really he's trying to do it for everybody's benefit. In the third one, in the Brett Ratner, he's the outright antagonist, right? More than the Dark Phoenix is. And the first one is arguably the same thing, slightly, right? It's muddied a little bit, right? Whereas when they're starting out with First Class and going forward, he's an antagonist at times, but he's really not necessarily against them. They just have different ways of going about the same goals, right? Which is mutant liberation and equality. Whereas one doesn't believe that they will ever be considered equal.
You know what though?
I'm sorry. Whereas some may not. One may not necessarily believe that they'll ever be considered equal. The other one has the hopes that they possibly can by good work, so to speak. The other one doesn't think that's a realistic thing, that he thinks that, you know, by any means necessary, as their characters are based off of the philosophies of Dr. King and Malcolm X. So.
See, and that's just it. Like, that's why it pissed me off at the end of the movie, seeing Charles so broken. You know what I mean? Because, you know, it's basically just seeing like Martin Luther King, if like the "I Have a Dream" speech had failed, or something like that. That's what it made me feel like. You know what I mean? Like.
But do you not believe that it's realistic that King at times he felt, am I going about this the right way? King himself said, "I brought my people into a burning house."
Yeah, I see that. I see you on that. That is true. But still, like, I mean, I just never seen. I don't know, man. It just looked like the end of the movie where Charles was broken, and that kind of like messed me up because, you know, this is basically MLK and Malcolm X. You know what I mean? I like that they were friendly, but I just, you know what I mean? It was such a difference from. It really felt like the first movie, like when Charles was trying to get. I mean, clearly I understand what they were doing as far as the opposite goes, but I was just very upset that they're closing out this saga, this movie, this series of movies with Charles looking like that, like a failure. You know, and then the other thing, they changed the name of the school to Jean Grey School. So what does that mean? That Charles has given up? So that's another one that like pisses me off. I mean, they don't even know if Jean Grey is actually dead. So like, anyway.
Okay. Chris, did you want to do your recasting, or you want me to go in here?
You can go ahead because I see you're prepared.
I was hoping that he wouldn't see that because he knew it was coming. I'm looking forward to Chris's recast, and I think you should tune in Thursday because it will be hilarity. Now, listen, I have a couple of recasts for this movie. It's not saying that I don't like it, but again, I recast this movie based on what they remind me of. When I see a character, I say, "Oh, they look like this person," or "Oh, they remind me of this," and so that's how I did it. So this movie, obviously, let's start with the title character. The Dark Phoenix, Jean Grey herself. Well, I'm watching this movie and I'm looking at this and I said, "Oh, I've seen this lately. What is it? It's Wanda Maximoff." That's exactly who it is. They both do those hand things, especially at the end of the movie of Dark Phoenix. You know what I mean? And when she's giving you the evil eye, you know you're about to get toasted. And so that's why I would cast Dark Phoenix, Jean Grey, as Wanda Maximoff. And now they're all part of one big happy family. We'll see how that turns out. Now, the next one coming up, I had to look up her name because I can't remember them saying it in the movie. But apparently her name is Smith. This is the alien form. And her alien name is Vok. Okay? Now, by the way, one of my negatives of this movie is, who are these dehydrated aliens and why are they there? Somebody get them a glass of water. They look terrible. But anyway, Vok, a.k.a. Smith, there she is. Now, I tried to get a full picture so you could really see what I'm talking about. But I'm going to put up a picture, and for those who are cinemaphiles, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Let me show you who I recast her as. Now, this is Deering from Jurassic World. I'm recasting her not as Chris Pratt's character, but as the female character right there. And look at her. Look at how she's dressed, right? You see anything? Do you notice anything similar if you've seen Dark Phoenix? Charmaine, I know you haven't seen this movie along with Chrissy, but she's wearing high heels. And if you've seen Jurassic World, you know that she's running around being chased by dinosaurs. She's running in the mud. She jumps in the water. She's running over puddles. And she's doing them in high heels. And I watched this movie, and Vok, the dehydrated alien, is doing the same thing. She's walking over bullet casings. She's walking in the mud. She's flying up in the sky. She's landing on beasts in the train, a moving train, and all in high heels, and never once does the heel break off. That is called movie magic. The same as I called this character, Deering's character, when she's running from the T-Rex at the end of Jurassic World in high heels, doesn't break an ankle at all, and she insisted that her character do it because that's who her character is, and apparently that's who this dehydrated alien's character is as well. There you go. So that's my recast. But last but not least, because I know you wanted in 3, and this is the third one for us, I have this person. Now, you know, I have nothing against Scott Summers. I liked him in the cartoon. Well, that's a lie. But anyway, I have nothing against him. It's just against how he's portrayed. There I go in the background. You can't see the melanin, but I assure you it's there. But in the foreground, there's Scott Summers. And as he is, even in the original Bryan Singer movies, he's also in this movie, just a little bit less so. And so I said, I can't make a grown man cry, so I'll just make it this little baby. There he is. Chris is ready with the tomfoolery. But that's why I recast him as a baby crying, because he's so young in this one. Now, if he was an older man crying, I would cast him as a grown man crying. But in this one, he's just this. And that's my recaster for this movie.
The tomfoolery you're recasting is amazing.
I'm just going by what I see.
It's amazing. You've been disrespecting Cyclops throughout the entire franchise that we have done.
So I'm not the script. I can't be explained for that.
All right. I don't even know why I'm about to upload this picture, but I do want to recast somebody as well. Ironically, it's the same picture, but I wanted to recast Vok, I think is what her name was pronounced, but whatever. And I actually didn't mind the character. It's just that one thing I would have preferred her change, and that is she looked like this, and her name was Lalana.
Thank you.
Even if they wanted to stick with the same storyline, she should have looked like this, and her name would have been Lalandra, and I would have been more accepting of what they were doing. They don't have to make a full force Phoenix saga. I would prefer it, of course. So we all would have. Mm-hmm. But what is so wrong with saying, "Hey, this is Lalandra and this is the Shi'ar"? They would have got bodied, yes. But what was so wrong if they just said that? It would have been a nicer tease.
Thank you.
And it would have worked fine. They could have still had the same thing. Our planet was destroyed. We're trying to get this energy so we can come back, make her a full-fledged villain, even though she never was a full-fledged villain in the comics, but still would have been fine. Mm-hmm. Don't understand it. And you know what? I think this person, I'm not even going to recast the actress because I think she could have pulled it off. Yeah. She looks like a Lilandra that needs something over her head. So I give you all the credit in the world for that. I was a little confused by that, but that's one recasted I definitely would have put up there. Mm-hmm. I only have one more recasted that I'm uploading now, ladies and gentlemen, and that is this right here. XMEN Dark Phoenix. I would have recasted this movie. And you're probably asking me like, well, man, you must have not liked the movie. What would you recast it as? I said, in honor of this past weekend, I would have asked for a Bryan Singer cut. That's what I would have done if I could do it. Because if Bryan Singer would have done it, maybe it would have been a little bit more to how it should have been done.
Or this movie needs like a 4-hour redone thing.
Let's not go overboard with 4 hours. I don't want that to become a common thing. But
it was. That shit was popping.
No, it was popping because you were in the comfort of your own home. Now in the theater, I don't know if I could have taken that. But I would have released a Bryan Singer cut.
Hey Chris, quick question. Can you put that last picture back up there on the screen for me, please? Where's Mystique?
She said that she couldn't make it.
Oh, okay.
She's killed off.
Why didn't they put her cardboard picture that you caught?
They could have drew her, and it would have made more sense than to have this. I'd like to know who else.
She's actually right there, just not in costume. I didn't even notice that.
I have no idea why Quicksilver's in this picture. He wasn't in the movie. All right, so let's go ahead.